Los Angeles Lakers. We sat on this very couch, I believe, when we were at the other crib, one of two spots. You pointed out that you weren't really rolling with Frank Vogel. Mm-hmm. It was an issue. You've seen the Lakers struggle now, sub 500. Had arguably the best win of the season against the Jazz. 2 days later, getting Karis LeVert, who I should have known, but I didn't realize it was Gerald LeVert's nephew or whatever the family. I'm a big OJ's fan. Uh-huh. But, dropping 22 in the fourth quarter, Westbrook getting pulled for the final 352, dipping from the arena, not talking to the press, obviously extremely frustrated. When you look at the Lakers squad now, is this Frank Vogel's fault? Because some would argue, no AD, right? He's been out for a minute. The squad is already undermanned. You're getting some guys that are coming back and figuring things out. Does Vogel deserve the blame, or does he need time to see this squad at actual full strength go out there and play and see what they can do?
Well, when they were at full strength at the beginning of the season, what was he doing? When he won the championship, I said it. I said, I give him, a C? C at best, right? Because you were supposed to win that championship. Like, there was no way you were going to lose that chance. You couldn't lose. So I'm judging you on how you actually played the game. How did you play? You were playing against Miami. Like, let's just be honest here. Miami, Jimmy Butler, top 20 player that year. Top 20 player. Bam, maybe he breaks 50. Everyone else, not even in the 100. Right? They're not below 100. Well, if your matchup against those guys is guys who's not even in the 300s, then those guys have an advantage over you. So those two guards, you got Duncan and, Hero as a freshman, as a rookie, they're outscoring you by like 30-something between those two against your guards. Someone has to make that up. That makes more pressure on LeBron and AD. So you drop 2 games to a team that you should have 4-0'd by 20, 10 at the worst. Like, it was like your lineups are horrible. You do not know what matches. It's like getting dressed in the dark. That's how he pulls his lineup. So, and then there was one thing that I just despise that he did, and this goes for any coach in sports. Game 6, he tells Dwight Howard that he will not be playing this game. As a player, just basketball, just sports knowledge, that was the dumbest thing you can possibly do. How do you tell a player that he's not going to play? How do you know that? The game dictates who you're going to play. See, you already prejudging what you're going to do. That's the problem there. You're not watching the actual game in real time. You're playing the game on what you think is going to happen. It's chess, right? You can have your moves, but if he's not moving how you figured it out, you have to adjust to that. So the fact that you're telling a player that he's not going to play and the game doesn't dictate that yet, there's a problem with your coaching staff. Your coaching philosophy in the first place. So I had a problem with that, because what ends up happening is that player won't go through his routine. He's not going to stretch properly. He's not going to warm up properly. Mentally, he's going to be out of it. And then if something happened in a game and you needed him, he mentally wasn't going to be there anyway. So it's just one of those things where, as a coach, you should never, because you do not actually know what you're going to need until that game starts and that game is being played. So right there just lets me know that he's not in tune with his squad. He's not in tune with what's going on. Like, he needs to do some real exercises with his group.
Do you think Vogel will be the Lakers coach?
No.
By the end of the season?
No.
How much longer? You're Pelinka.
He won't be here for the following season now. I think Frank, what he needs to do is do this. Every player on this team, say, hey, write your name at the top. Tell me the 4 players that you would like to play with, right? So now you take that list, you sit it down, now you can see who, because a coach sees exactly how his vision looks, not necessarily those guys actually go well together. So if I ask you, who did you like playing well with? You know who you play well with. You know, just for some reason, we just match up great. That might not be the best player on the team or this person, but for some reason, when you guys play together, you guys are peanut butter and jelly. He should do that. everyone right now who they play. So now you can match it up. Okay, this is Melo's. Okay, Melo like playing with LeBron, AD, okay, Westbrook, and this person. Boom, boom, boom. And you just do that so you can see the combinations that you can actually have, because you probably won't know it until you actually see it work out. So you need to really actually sit down and do that exercise so you can see what the players see. You gotta remember, a coach is watching a game like this, sideline to sideline. Players is up and down. So you have two different visions. So no one's wrong, your visions are different. So you need to see what the players see, right? So the fact that you have Westbrook and then you have Bradley, dumb. That's a dumb lineup. What is Bradley gonna do besides be some corner shooter? He's a corner shooter, defensive player. Like, how much defense do you need on your team if you have Dwight Howard and LeBron James? Like, how much more defense? Like, I don't want defense that can't score. Makes it harder for scorers because they don't need to guard this man anymore. You know, maybe him and Monk play better together. Him and Horton play better together. You need to, like with a Westbrook, you need another scorer. You need someone who can relieve the pressure so he's not trying to do it all himself. You know what I mean? So you got to learn how to, like, what actually matches up.
So you mentioned Westbrook, and this is the thing, you know, I'm a LeBron guy. Lakers Nation, notorious for bullying players to greatness. We saw with KCP in years past. Westbrook has kind of caught the ire of the entire Lakers fandom. Been a lot of debates. Twitter Spaces have been really buzzing. You know, you got Russ's brother in there defending his honor. Russ, after the Pacers game, after he dipped, you know, pulled up on a Twitter Space to just see what was going on and being said about him. When you look at this Lakers, you know, big three, this was a decision that was made, obviously, to bring in Westbrook. You got Westbrook, AD, LeBron. Is that big three sustainable? We got the trade deadline coming up. Do you envision them making a move, or are they going to ride out with this squad for the rest of the season?
It's hard to make a move midseason and still be a champion. So if they do make this move, the chances of them winning, because then that group has to get, you know, this ain't the East Coast where, you know, LeBron can throw the whole team and get a whole new team and still make it to the championship. Yeah. You know, this is the West, so you need, you need continuity. So, you know, right now I just think that Vogel's paying attention to Google too much, because that's what they said. Once you bench Russ in the fourth quarter, and you actually tried the shit, and it didn't work. It didn't work in your favor. So it's one of those things where you put stop worrying about that's what I said. They worry about the defensive side so much that they don't realize that the offensive side is f***ing you up too. Because if you don't have guys that can create, how is LeBron getting to the basket? It's harder. 37, it's harder for him. If everyone's sagging the lane, how is Russell getting to the basket? So he has to take more jumper. So you're making it hard. You need scoring. It makes it easier. Like, think about the shooters he's had. KD's here. Oh shit, we can't leave KD. Yeah. We got Bill. Can't leave Bill. Yeah. We got James Harden. So you see what he's needing. So you need players that actually Horton and Melo with Westbrook. That helps him out a whole lot. You know what I mean? That helps him out a bunch. But you got dead players on the court. You got players who can't put the ball in the basket. So you're playing 3-on-5. You're scoring 104 points. That's your problem. 104 in an era where offense is running down your throat. So they obviously, you see, it's the Pacers. They don't give a shit about defending you. You're defending yourself because you got two players who's not going to shoot the ball. You're defending yourself. Shit. I'm not adjusting to your lineup. I'm just going to put out whoever I want, and we're just going to try to outscore you. That's what it is. We're going to just outscore you guys.
I mean, it feels like it's been like that all season. And it's, you know, first half, pumping their chest, 10, 15-point leads. But, you know, now just watching those games, you know it's just not going to last.
In today's game, there's no place where Bradley and Ariza should be on the court at the same time. Ariza is there for defense and making great plays. Not necessarily he's going to shoot 3 or 4 shots. Bradley, defense, going to shoot about 3 or 4 shots. So there's going to be games where these two are both going to have 0, and they're going to be playing 15 to 30 minutes. Someone has to make up that them points. Someone has to make up the. They shouldn't be on the court at the same time. You need more often. You don't need. He's the defender at the one. Then you got Ariza. Then you got LeBron defender. Then you got Dwight Howard. Because I mean, it's not like they're passing the ball to Dwight Howard. So now you're playing 2-on-5. And that's the real problem.
So AD should be coming back soon. Obviously, squad sub 500 as the taping of this episode. Can they right that ship? And if so, what's their ceiling? We're talking first, second round in the playoffs, or would they should be happy to just get the play?
It all depends. If they think like bringing AD back is going to save them and they still going to be putting those same lineups out, then I don't see how they make the playoffs, let alone the Western Conference Finals.
Oof, it is what it is.
You sound like Clipper fans over here, right? Oof.